Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Rick and I appreciate you watching the video. As most of you know who have been around the channel for a while, I actually retired from the fire department after about 25 and a half years on December 1st, and I have since started a part-time job that has kept me a little bit busier than I thought I would be over the last couple months, but it's given me an opportunity actually to come up with a couple of videos, and the one I'm going to talk about today is what it's like to use a 2020 Jeep Wrangler Willys 4-door as a commuter. With this job, I have to go into an office that's about 40 minutes away, sometimes every day of the week, and then I'll be off for a couple weeks. And it's going to be like that. I've also had to commute up to Phoenix a few times. And so it's been interesting to see, to experience that as a Jeep. You know, for the most part, I'd say probably 90% of people who buy a Jeep probably never go off-road or very rarely, but they just like the Jeep itself, what it stands for, the lifestyle, whatever. As you guys know, I do like to go off-road, don't get to do it as much as I like, and certainly if I was buying a vehicle specifically for commuting, it probably wouldn't be a Jeep for a number of reasons, but obviously these days, with gas prices continuing to climb, it's a consideration. And so if you're looking at a Jeep and you're wondering what gas mileage is like, you're wondering what it's like to use on a daily basis as a commuter, we're going to talk about that today. And let me start off by saying, obviously nobody buys a Jeep for gas mileage. However, with the way things are going with electric and the push for higher and higher overall brand gas mileage, manufacturers are doing things to improve it. For example, my Jeep has start-stop. They now have the electric Jeep that can get, I think it's 24 miles of range on pure electric. They also have the little 4-cylinder turbo. That's an option that gets a little bit better mileage as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully that's interesting to you. If you have questions or comments when this is done, please leave that below. It's going to be a really quick video. And again, I thank you for watching. As I mentioned, I started this new job and basically it's part-time, but there are weeks where I'm working every day. It's a 21-mile trip, takes about 40 minutes, and it takes me through town. I try to stay on the outskirts a little bit. In general, we're out here where I live. I don't really do a whole lot of stoplight to stoplight traffic. I never have. Being on the fire department, I've been very fortunate. Most of my stations have been pretty close to me. Again, 21 miles. There is quite a bit of stoplight to stoplight, so it's been interesting to see how my gas mileage is. And quite honestly, I've been really pretty impressed with it. I've been averaging 22 miles per gallon, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. It seems like I get a little bit better mileage going than I do coming home. And obviously it depends on, really 5 or 10 minute difference as far as leaving the house can make a big difference as far as traffic and school zones and all those kind of things. But I've been really, really happy with 22 miles per gallon. In the scheme of things, it's not incredible, but considering what my old Jeep Rubicon used to get, it was an 05, and the best I would do in there is really pretty much everywhere was about 15 or 16 miles per gallon. So this Willys returning this kind of mileage has been awesome, really. If you're not familiar with the Willys edition, it actually has off-road tires as well, so it's not a stock road tire. Now, I've also had to travel up to the Phoenix area a few times, and generally it's 75 miles per hour going up there. And if you stay at 75 or a little bit below, I can get in the 23 mile per gallon range. One day I did get 25. I don't know if I had favorable winds or what the deal was, but for the most part, it seems to be around 23 miles per gallon. If you pump it up and kind of go with traffic 80, sometimes 85, then you're going to be 21, 22. Compared to the old days, what I used to get, not great in the Rubicon. I'm pretty happy with 22 to 23 miles per gallon. So let's talk a little bit about living with the Jeep day to day. I've covered a little bit of this in some of the other videos I've done on the Jeep, but let's do it again here. Basically, what is it like to live with on a day-to-day basis? Number one, it has all the amenities you could want in a vehicle. I don't have navigation, but it does have Apple CarPlay, and it works very well. I have had very few issues with it. There's been a few times when it wouldn't load, and the head unit, I've talked about this a little bit in the Jeep. It's given me a little bit of trouble now and then, but for the most part, it's been pretty solid. I've got heated seats, I've got remote start, I've got a heated steering wheel. One of the cool things I like about the Jeeps, they actually have buttons. Not everything is through the screen. There is a whole menu inside the little touchscreen there, and the touchscreen is actually pretty decent. I have to say it's much better than the one that was in my Subaru. Still not perfect, but it works pretty darn well. But I like the fact that pretty much all the controls I want to use have buttons and knobs and things you can actually touch. You know, I hate to pick on Tesla or even the new Mach-E. They have these giant screens and absolutely everything is done through the screen. I imagine you get used to it, but at this point, I'm still very happy that the Jeep has actual buttons. So in the morning, it's been actually in the low 30s. We've had a couple of days in the 20s around here, which I know for some of you around the country, that's warm. But for me, being in the desert, that's pretty cold. So it's nice to be able to start the car from inside. And one of the things I didn't talk about with the mileage, and I do that, you know, a couple times out of the week when we had cold weeks, I would start the car and let it warm up for 5 minutes. So that obviously affects gas mileage as well, but I was still able to return 22. Having a Jeep, after again having my Rubicon that's an 05 with a heated steering wheel and heated seats is really cool. It's really a kind of a nice thing. Power everything. I don't know that there's a better vehicle as far as visibility out the front, the sides, and the back. Sitting up tall like that, you just have a great view. And for me, the Jeep is comfortable. Obviously going around corners and stuff with that solid axle, sometimes it feels like you're hopping around the corner. It's not bad, but you do get that now and then. And really that's the biggest downside with the Jeep, in my opinion, is the handling is nothing to write home about. You do have a lot of those micro corrections that I've talked about you have to make on the freeway just because of the steering stabilizer situation. But it's got great brakes. The sound system in there, for me, is fine. The seats are not the best seats in the world, but for short commutes and even 4-hour drive, I've had no issues with the seats as well. I know there's much better seats on the market. For example, the new Ford Bronco looks like it has a beautiful interior. I haven't been in it, but it looks awesome from all the videos I've seen. So hopefully Jeep will step up their game as far as that goes. But living with the car on a day-to-day, I mean, no issues at all. I think it's actually fantastic. And again, I talked about this a lot in my other videos when I switched from the Crosstrek over to the Jeep. So if you're looking for a commuter, or you're looking for a vehicle you want to have fun with on the weekends, but it also has to be your everyday car, you know, the Jeep's a great choice. Yes, there's cars that get better gas mileage. There are other options out there, you know, like Subaru, for example. You can still do some off-roady type things. It's not going to be as capable as the Jeep, obviously, but it will be a little more comfortable on the road. And so that's just kind of a choice you have to make. For me, moving from the Subaru to the Jeep has been awesome. I really don't have any complaints about it other than maybe the handling. The noise level is comparable. A lot of people ask about the tire noise on the Willys. It's really not bad at all. Again, I've only got 12, maybe 13,000 miles on the Jeep now. So once they get worn out more, they'll probably get louder, but so far they don't bother me at all. No issues there whatsoever. Mechanically, I've not had any issues with engine or tranny. There's been a few, you know, times when the head unit hasn't loaded and you just have to restart it. I did have the issue where I had to have the visor replaced, which I had done, and that was done under warranty. And then I had a rattle in the door. They re-greased everything, it has come back. And I'm pretty sure it's the window's loose. When you grab the window and you can move it back and forth on the driver's side, the passenger side doesn't do it. So I don't know if a screw came loose or something down in there. A little bit annoying, I gotta get that back in to get fixed. But really overall, it's been a very easy car to live with. And it's actually surprised me again, especially gas mileage wise. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. If you guys have questions or if I missed something you're interested in, you're looking at Jeeps and you want to know, I had a question actually this morning that I answered in the comments about, is the Jeep reliable? And my experience so far, yes, it has been. Time will tell. Again, I've only got 13,000-ish miles on it, so it's still early yet, but it's been a year and a half I think I've had it. So far so good. Anyway, hope you all are doing great. Sorry the videos have been kind of slow coming this last year here, but life's just been crazy busy. So anyway, take care. Let me know if you have questions. We'll talk to you soon.